I am...
Hit hard.
Okay, I
Please,
will.
hard is better.
I put it to you, whether if you were a spiritual teacher or an atheist, whatever, if this were 200 years ago, I don't think, I mean, you are who you are, and people are their individuals, but I sense that the quest for individual potentiality is an artifact of our age, of our individualistic age. I think that we would be talking about how the potentiality of the universe might have a more interpersonal, perhaps communal utility to us, that we would, that the end of potentiality wouldn't be self-fulfillment, but it would also be fulfillment of our interpersonal relationships. And so I'm wondering, I haven't read all of your books, but I've only read the summary and I saw the video. So why do you think very few people take their philosophical or spiritual beliefs and don't apply it to end at the individual? Start and end with the individual. And I challenge you that that's an artifact of our...
Ask me one direct question. Give me one direct, very one succinct direct question or challenge. Boil it down to one sentence, if you can. Focus the challenge, please.
Why is the individual the most important? Why?
Because, okay,
why do all spiritual philosophies and atheistic philosophy these days always seem to begin and end with the individual?
Well, okay, I mean, why do they what they do? That's not what I do. That's what they do. I mean, that's not what I do. That's what they do. Ask them. You know.
Right, but you also you say that we all within ourselves have a potentiality to fulfill.
Yes, look.
And it seems like the strand is always what we can do. Are we going to get a job? Are we going to get the apartment?
Okay.
And it seems like it boils down to something more transactional than the spiritual.
Okay.
Yeah.
First, basics. We have to survive.
Right.
We have to breathe air. We have to have a shelter and food. Everybody, including me. Okay? All of us must have that. Darwin said survival of the fittest, which has been finesse, but basically survival. Yes, first we have to survive. But survival is necessary, but not sufficient. Darwinian theory is necessary and true to a great extent, but not sufficient. It's part of the equation. You, Mr. Sam Saperstein, are more than just survival. Yes or no? If I told you just about survival, you'd about to kill me, right? So I'm not just about survival. I'm not just about rent and food.
Right.
I'm much more than that. I'm Sam Saperstein.
Sure.
And you'd build out from that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yes. So first you have to protect the individual, survival, and then you want to build up the individual's bigger cluster of things, spirituality, yada yada. But advanced warfare for Sam Saperstein is beyond that. Not just Sam Saperstein. How could Sam Saperstein, if he has the luxury, impact the world for good? It's a luxury. It's a luxury to go beyond basic survival, even on the individual level. It's a luxury to go beyond Sam Saperstein on the communal level. Yes, it's a luxury. It's a luxury, but that's according to Hamas, that's what the universe does. If the universe wanted just survival, it would have created slugs which can survive nuclear war, nuclear winter. It would not have done flamingos or even humans which can last 100 seconds without oxygen, basically. The universe wants more than just slugs and just survival. If it wanted just survival, it would have gone for slugs. It would not have gone for Sam Saperstein. You are vulnerable, many which ways. We all are. We remain vulnerable, physically. The universe wants more than that. Evolution wants more than that. I have to give you a quick footnote. So the atheist randomness, it's one cluster, atheist randomness. Everything's random and atheist, except for one aspect. Darwin, who's British, was right. Survival of the fittest. There's an asterisk in it. But there happens to be one tangent which is directional. Give me a break. Like try to give it all the way. Okay. But Darwin was only partially right, according to this. Survival is necessary but not sufficient. Give one strong follow-up question, one follow-up challenge to that. See, I conquer you. I conquer you by giving you compliments, right?
Well,
right.
I guess I in a general sense find I can't really ask a follow-up question. It's really a reiteration and I think a sticking point.
So reiterate again, right?
Yeah, I find this a general sense based on what little I experienced of your philosophy.
Right.
Both the introduction to the world, the mechanisms by how the universe works, and then how that filters down to, okay, what do we do with that? Whether it's this philosophy, modern atheism, I detect a certain strand that what is useful in the philosophy begins and ends with the individual, yes, perhaps the individual's impact on society, and perhaps that's the best we can do when we're individuals reading a book. But history is full of, whether they are religions, which are often incomplete or false, or philosophies that seem to, they don't end with the individual. Well, they insist upon our synthesis with the group. And they find, the bad ones say there is no individual. The good philosophies seem to find a balance between the two. And so
okay, I'm the last one to say that this all starts and ends with the individual.
Okay,
my philosophy works without any individual.
Right, okay.
Before there were humans, the philosophy works.
Okay.
This method starts...
Again, this is part of me not having read all the books.
No, just listen to what I'm saying.
Right.
At this moment in time, we might be the best vehicle for the universe to reach its potential. But a billion years from now, there might be advanced creatures. After we're wiped out by the mistaken nuclear war triggered by an accidental computer, the billion years from now, there might be advanced entities, which are the latest incarnation. So according to this philosophy, macro down to micro. The universe quests potential. Life quests potential. Humans quest potential. Your blood cells individually probably quest their own potential. That's where everything's rocking and rolling. It's one great symphony, rock and rolling. And so, yes, if we had a subject heading for the paper for philosophy class, the individual in Birnbaum's philosophy, if we got to that point, it would be the little paragraph I gave you. You know, yes. Okay, but I mean, without the individual, the philosophy works. And I keep saying, we're all part of the whole. Right. In one of the science stuff, there's a thing called the Borg, the collective.
Right, yeah.
This is parallel to that, to my shock, and to my dismay. When we thought the Borg, oh God almighty, the Borg again, like, give me a break, the terrible Borg. But on some level, it's parallel to that. We're part of a collective also. We're individual, we're part of a collective, and not only that, we're part of the divine.
Right.
And you have to handle that. You have to behave yourself, because we're part of the divine.
And yet we are also
flawed, highly flawed. Right.
Right.
All simultaneously true. It's all, according to that hypothesis, all simultaneously true. According to this, it's one big hypothesis, but it all fits together. It might be wrong, but all the pieces fit together. There's no deal breaker in the philosophy. It all holds together, right. Which is the elegant part of it, and it's simple. Quest potential drives the whole universe. Potential is eternal. It's an A to Z construct, which no one has found a chink in.
Right.
It's now 20, 30, 40 years. It's been evolving, right? But it's the first book in 1988. I thought I'd get excommunicated or trashed by the religious right. It turns out they like me. At the conference, the religious from all religions like me. Why do they like me? It's counterintuitive that they should like me. You think they want to burn me at the nearest stake. I solved their problem. Their problem is, where is God? It's everywhere. We're all part of it. Where did God come from? God is a God of potential. Why is there evil? Because in order for there to be a universe, it had to be evil. And even God cannot crush evil. Because what's at the core of God, if there is God? Potential. God of potential cannot crush evil. If the God of potential crushed evil, what happens? You have no more universe. So they like me because I solve their problems, which they've been beaten up with for several centuries, at least, by the anti-religious.
Right.
If I solve your problem, you're going to like me a little. I solve their problem, they will take the whole package because I solve their problem. Doesn't mean that they swallow it whole, but they want me strong because I solve their problem. As incredible as to me, you hear what I'm saying? I solve their problem.
I think at this point I would love to read the books because I'm stuck on the idea that if there is a theological sin in the Jewish sense, obviously in the old times they had to sacrifice to cleanse their sins every year.
Right.
Doesn't that put a check on this sort of universal potential, the expansion outward of our potential?
As I said, we paid ransom. We all paid ransom to the void. When we said creation, the ransom we paid was evil. It's part of the equation. We cannot have a universe without evil. Unfortunately, it's a French word that captures malheureusement. Unfortunately, we could not have had a universe without evil. If we could have, we would have had it. We would have gone that direction. Okay. We paid a terrible ransom. Look in the eye of a suffering, a youngster suffering from genocide. Try to look them in the eye so we had to have a universe. We had to allow this to have a universe. Try to look them in the eye. It's not so easy. For anybody, including me. I'm saying objectively that must have been what happened. We must have said, we will take it. We will take the genocide in order to have a universe. It was our cosmic wager. It's a terrible wager, but we took it. That's my hypothesis. It's all hypothesis. Or else we can never have a universe. Because you cannot get from zero. From zero cannot just split into plus. Zero, how to split, zero, whatever that means. How to split into plus and minus, whatever that means. It was a grand wager to get to life, maybe to get to love, maybe to get to mercy, maybe to get to E+. I don't know exactly. I'm laying out broad strokes here, but the broad strokes seem to fit together. It's important, so that's what I'll spend a few minutes on. I grew up in a non-Orthodox Jewish home in Forest Hills. I'm born in 1950. At age 7, 1957, I'm in a fine home. We have discussions at the table. I'm in a very fine, non-Orthodox Jewish school with a science lab, etc. Fully equipped. Nobody can answer basic questions. And everyone knows it. Where do we come from? Not in the Jewish realm, not in the science lab. Where do we come from? Why are we here? What makes it tick? Where are we going? Nobody. Not the rabbinics, not the parents, not the teachers, not the lab teacher. Nobody can answer any of these questions. Until this day. Nobody answered any of these questions. So I said, I'm a pretty smart boy. Let me just observe the world. Maybe I can come up with it must be right in front of us. If the dynamic created universe must be hiding in plain sight. That's my working hypothesis to get to. So put it on your to-do list. See, come up with it. Read all the stuff. Observe the universe. Go to all the movies. Now go to IMAX, not just the movies. Now you get all the science movies also. You have lots of more information now. And I watch all of them to see if there's a chink in my armor. And it actually turns reverse. It corroborates. Each one corroborates. It must be hiding in plain sight. It must be relatively simple. Why? You need something simple, but infinite, to ignite a universe. It had to be simple. If it's too complex, how do you get there? It had to be sort of simple, something simple, but infinite. It was my working hypothesis. Because I have to play philosopher. I'm playing philosophy here. I'm looking for, I'm checking out different dynamics. Does that work? No, it doesn't work. Potential, maybe. Let me see if I can play with that. My first question, can it resolve theodicy? Theodicy is the class question. If there is a God who is all powerful and merciful, why is it gross evil? Got it? Theodicy, class question. Okay. The Hebrew term is tzaddik v'ralo. Why does a righteous man have evil before him? But the classic Greek term, not Greek, from Leibniz is theodicy. If I can crack theodicy with the theme, maybe I can go all the way, the entire deal. And I might also work on a hypothesis, if you can crack one, it should be able to crack everything. Not everything, but a dozen major problems. If it can't simultaneously solve a dozen major problems, you're wrong. Mr. David Birnbaum. Don't just try to crack theodicy, but first try to crack theodicy. If you can crack a bunch of classic problems, theodicy, theogony, the origins of God if there is a God, cosmology, cosmology / cosmogony, it's related, origins of the universe, origins of the cosmos, teleology, direction of the universe, purpose of man, and who are we, where are we going? If you can with one concept, lance all of them, maybe it pays to devote the time to write a book.